Hey everybody, Alex from SeemsGoodMagic.com here, and we're doing an 8-4 Battle for Zendikar draft. Open Quarantine Field, super strong card. Definitely, I imagine, the first pick. Other good cards in here. Ruination Guide's a great card in this format. And Tajuru Beastmaster is also very good, as is Territorial Baloth. Otherwise, Demon's Grasp, which is fine. And nothing else terribly exciting. Some good little utility lands in here, actually, but definitely Quarantine Field to start it off. Pretty amazing card. Possibly worth something, right? Maybe. You can only hope. Can't imagine it's worth a boatload, but it is a mythic. It's only worth about a ticket, but that is fine. All right. Wow. 7 mana, 7/5. When it attacks, they have to exile 2 permanents? That seems like a pretty strong 7-drop. Otherwise, there's Unnatural Aggression, which, I mean, it's got to be this, right? Haven't even seen this one yet. This one seems insane. It does cost 7 mana. It does only have 5 toughness, but exile 2 permanents every time it attacks? Seems pretty good. There's not a ton of ramp in white, though, but that's okay. It just means second color maybe needs some ramp. I kind of want to try this card out. I haven't yet. And like I said, it seems like a pretty crazy good one. Ramp's already good in our deck for Quarantine Field, so let's take this 7-drop, which is a pretty early 7-drop, I admit, but I want to try it out. Well, Kozilek's Channeler, that can help us get there. It's also Hedron Archive, which, is that something we like more than Channeler? Would I rather have a 4/4 body that ramps me 2, or 1 less mana that ramps me 2 that I can use right away, and I can sack for 2 cards? I actually don't exactly know the answer to that. Archive versus Channeler. Yeah, I don't actually know. I mean, Channeler is an actual threat. Archive you can use right away, like I said. It also has a mana cheaper, which is not irrelevant. That's a question, all right. I mean, Archive's more rare. Channeler, I imagine you see later. Is that right, though? I'm going to take the Archive. I've got a feeling a mana cheaper is a kind of a big deal. Okay, so now we have Eyeless Watcher, Tandem Tactics in white, Oron Reef Invoker, which is a very good Invoker. That's about it, I guess. Rush of Ice, maybe. Not insane, but 5 mana, 3/3, tap something down, it doesn't untap is not terrible. I mean, I feel like we probably want ramp, but is Eyeless Watcher better than Oron Reef Invoker? I'm not exactly sure. I think the ramp, I mean, just based on Quarantine Field and Bane of Balaged, Eyeless Watcher might be better, but Oron Reef Invoker is certainly a better threat later. I'm going to take the Watcher, just on a hunch that I'm going to want the ramp. Okay, so Bone Splinters, another Tactics. There is a Blighted Woodland, which is good fixing. I still have a feeling I like 3-color decks in this format for the most part. There is a Scour from Existence, which is fine. I have a feeling we're going to see some more 7-drops, so I think I want this Blighted Woodland. Could take the Bone Splinters, good with the Eyeless Watcher. Woodland, I mean, is basically just better with landfall. I mean, it does fix too, potentially. If green is one of your base colors and you have enough time to waste to do that, I might just want it. We'll see what's open. I'll take the thing that can ramp and fix. All right, Call the Scions. Certainly good. McKindy Patrol, not insane. Probably would prefer the Call the Scions. Inspired Charge, I mean, if I end up green-white, Inspired Charge is going to be good with a bunch of ramp, definitely. Otherwise, Swarm Surge, which is good too. Ondu Rising is actually very insane. Ondu Rising might actually just be better than Call to Scions, now that I think about it. And I would like to play Quarantine Field. That is for sure. I'm going to take the Ondu Rising. I think this card is just very good. All right. So now we have Fertile Thicket, which is fine. We have Sure Strike, which is actually really good. I just like that card. After playing it before, I think it's just really good. I might just want the Fertile Thicket, though. Could very easily end up 3-color. And sort of the mentality I have right now is if you end up 3-color, green better be one of your 3 colors, or it's going to be difficult to make work, I think. Unified Front. Yeah, this card is not insane. It's only okay. And based on what we have now, it's not insane. But maybe it's just a pick in case I end up in a bunch of colors. Like if you end up in green and you end up with like the Lifespring Druid, I could see it being playable. Especially if we have some sort of pump. Otherwise, it's like Sandstone Bridge, which is fine. We already have a couple utility lands, though. There's a Cloud Manta, too. I'm going to stick to white. Could actually take the Fortified Rampart. Just early blocks. I'm going to take the Unified Front, though. I want to try some of these cards out. Okay. More utility lands. Now I'll take the Tandem Tactics, which I think is fine here. Couple decent black cards. Couple more utility lands. I'll take the Tactics. Like I said, I'm fine with that. All right. Rampart now. Just get an early blocker. I feel like we have a pretty decent mid to late game plan already. I don't know how good the Rampart is, but I guess we'll find out. Another opportunity to take Sandstone Bridge. I do think the card's good, but I want to get some early defense. We have no early plays at the moment. All right, Rampart number 2. Actually, I think we'll take the Stalwart. Still a decent chance we end up 3-color. And even if I don't, 3 mana 2/3 is admittedly not great, but possibly playable. I guess I don't really care about any of these. Can't imagine playing the Assassin, but we'll take it. All right, second Tactics. Inspired Charge is actually looking decent. Last pick, Hedron Blade. Someone just really wants me to play Hedron Blade. All right, kind of an interesting pack one. I like some of the cards we got. I feel like we carved our way into white. Did not necessarily carve our way into green. Ooh, what does this insane mythic do? Enters the battlefield, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Good. When it dies, exile it, return target card. Wow. That guy seems good. Another chance for Eyeless Watcher. There's also Natural Connection, Blister Pod, McKinney Patrol, Scythe, Scythe Leopard. Natural Connection. I think we've got to take Mythic here, right? I mean, how can I not? It's a Mythic with Eternal Witness ability. A little bit more expensive than Eternal Witness, granted, but okay. Lithomancer's Focus, which seems decent. Drana's Emissary, which seems good. Currently cannot splash black too terribly easily, but maybe I can figure out a way to do it. I don't think Carrier Thrall or Drana's Emissary are probably that good on the splash, but getting another 4-drop might be kind of awkward too, even if it's a ramp. Lithomancer's Focus seems actually just pretty good. 1 mana Trick. I wish I had more cheap creatures to really fully utilize that. I feel like splashing Emissary might be a bit awkward, but it's still early enough where I can get fixing, I think. Another problem, I guess, that we have is we're a little bit color intensive. We have a double green. We have 2 double white and a double green. Maybe I do just want tokens with this Inspired Charge. All right, I'll take the Body Creator. Royal's Retribution, probably fine. Despoiler, not terribly exciting. Felidar Cub, something cheap. Probably don't need another 7-drop at the moment. Here's a Bone Splinters, which is good in our deck if we could splash it. Probably just take the Royal's Retribution. It's pretty decent removal, I would say. We definitely look a little bit slower of a deck, I guess, but I'll take the Retribution. I think it's a good removal spell in general. Ooh, Pilgrim's Eye. Now there's some fixing for us. Otherwise, Bone Splinters again in another rune processor. I'm going to take this Pilgrim's Eye. I actually just like it. Seems to fit our curve relatively well. And it finds a third color for us. So now we might be able to splash. Nissa's Renewal. Search for 3 basic lands. Good with landfall, definitely. Probably just want the Castigator. It's something cheap to do. Otherwise, Skyrider Elf with no fixing. Skyrider Elf's a great card. Actually, Retreat to Emeria is really nice too. I really like this card a lot. If we end up with more token producers, we don't even have to splash really now. I don't want to play this anyway. It is another 4-drop though. Castigator is nice and cheap. Retreat is actually better than... I feel like with all these 4-drops though, we're going to end up with some trouble if we don't lower the curve a bit. Retreat is very good though. I'm going to take this Castigator just because I need some cheap stuff. I'm just not cheap enough at the moment. Another Blighted Woodland. I think Cliffside Lookout is definitely good enough in this deck already. We have 2 Eyeless Watchers. Do we have no other token producers? Well, I was kind of hoping we'd find some more, but it's not too late. Anyway, I'm going to take the Lookout, which I think is fine in general, and probably don't need another 4-drop. Still have time. A second Ondu Rising is probably just fine. Otherwise, Rune Processor, but we have no processing to do, which I don't love. So I'm going to take this. I guess Angelic Gift's good on a Bane, but we're going to take Ondu Rising. Number 2, I think. Otherwise, a second Stalwart's probably okay. Can I splash a 3rd color just to make my Stalwarts better? I mean, I guess I don't need a second Ondu Rising. All right, let's take the Stalwart. And maybe we do... Are the foil lands worth anything? I guess I didn't look. I'm going to take this Stalwart regardless. I know they're worth a lot in real life, but... Okay, Invoker versus Cub and Lookout. And Grove Tinder Druids actually might be... We have a few allies already. Yeah, this might be the time to pick up the Druids. More token producers. And we have at least a couple other allies. Okay. I do think Invoker's good. And these other 2-drops, but I think actually Grove Tinder Druids is pretty nice. All right. Might just... Well, actually, I think Natural Connection's what we're going to go for here. Our curve is looking a little bit higher than I'd like. And at this point with double Stalwart, I think... And the Unified Front, I guess, we probably want some fixing. Or ramp. We'll take the Focus here, which seems pretty good. Feldar Cub. Don't have any processing, so we don't need this guy. Cub seems fine. Seek the Wilds. Sure, I don't think we're playing it, though. 3rd Stalwart. All right, well, to be honest, we have a decent little Converge build going right now. So, probably don't need the Rampart anymore. Probably don't need double Tactics either, necessarily. I mean, we need some more creatures anyway. But I think the fixing aspect with triple Converge, quad Converge actually, is probably a good idea. I do like the Strangler. Grip of Desolation seems like a hard card to splash. Could take the Evolving Wilds. That'll help. I mean, the thing is we already have a deck. What's our removal, though? I guess we just have Quarantine Field and some Combat Tricks. Combat Tricks seem decent, and we get our Royal's Retribution. I kind of want to just take the Evolving Wild to continue to splash for black. The problem is, it's like we don't have any real need for a 3rd color other than Converge. Not that that's a huge deal. Unnatural Aggression is certainly good. We don't have great bodies for it, though. We have a couple big ones at the top end, but not a lot in the middle. I'm I'm going to take the Evolving Wilds, I think, just because I already have a deck. And we're playing 18 lands anyway. So now I'm just basically trying to make my Converge guys better. Another Grip of Desolation? Jeez, I think Encircling Fissure is actually a good card. Better than Sheer Drop, I think. And maybe we table the Stalwart. I do think yeah, like one-sided Fog or one-sided Fog with a 2/2 is pretty good. I think this card is pretty nice. What do we cut? I don't actually know. Unified Front might not be exciting enough. Probably Double Tactics is unnecessary. So we can take the Encircling Fissure for now. I guess these are both kind of cards you want to play at 6, aren't they? Alright, Call the Scions gives you some bodies. Smite is some removal. Channeler is good body that gets you to 7. Stalwart number 4. I can go deep on Stalwarts with Evolving Wilds, Pilgrim's Eye, Natural Connection. There's also Drana's Emissary now, which I can splash. It like gives us a reason to play black and it's an ally. It's not busted. It's pretty good though. Probably, like I said, tabling the Stalwarts anyway. Otherwise, yeah, I can take the Channeler here, which is good with the Quarantine Field, good for getting to Bane. Emissary on the splash doesn't seem busted. It seems decent, though. Exert Influence seems fine on the splash. I think we're going to take the Channeler. I don't know if that's right. We'll find out. Ooh, Brutal Expulsion. I wish I was in either of those colors. I don't think it's worth anything, is it? Nope. McKindy Patrol is another ally. Not terribly good, though. Otherwise, Giant Mantis. Also not that insane. I guess Myers Malice is, like, playable, but it's not super exciting. Could just take the Patrol. I mean, our deck wants more creatures, definitely. Is Unified Front probably just going to be too bad to play? It's pretty cool with Druids, actually. I'm going to take the Patrol. I don't love it. It just seems to fit the curve reasonably well. Expedition Envoy seems good. We have like a decent beatdown plan at the moment. We only have one, so that's not worth it. Yeah, I think we just want the Envoy. Actually, more beatdown than... Jeez. Are we just going to play like green-white beats? And just run one swamp for a Pilgrim's Eye and a Natural Connection to find an Evolving Wilds and a Fertile Thicket and a Blighted Woodland? I mean, that's seeming fine to me. I'm trying to think if I just want to go super deep on white and just dip out of the... I mean, this card's okay. Could be something we could do. I already have an Angelic Gift, so I probably don't need a second one. Although, I mean, some dudes it's fine on. Another Natural Connection doesn't seem insane. None of these cards seem insane. I'm going to take the Infuse. Yeah, I don't need the Medic. Don't really need the Mantis. Not even an ally. Interesting. I don't even know. None of these cards seem terribly exciting. Guess Sharpshooter kills some of our stuff, maybe. So does Processor Assault, but it has a requirement. I don't really care, I guess. Can't really play any of those. Earthen Arms. Are we beat down enough to make that work? Possibly. We don't have any landfall, which makes the natural connections basically just pumping Stalwart, which does make them significantly worse. I'd rather just play a Pilgrim's Eye, I think. I'd take the Earthen Arms. We did table Stalwart. Maybe I just want the Griffin now. I mean, 3-mana 3/4s are going to be really good if I can make Stalwarts work. But like I said, we're reasonably color intensive. I might still just make the Stalwart plan work, though. I don't know, man. This is a kind of difficult deck to make at the moment. I might just want the Griffin because he flies. I think I'm going to, even though I have a trillion 4-drops already. This is interesting. I might take this for sideboard, sure. All right, well, interesting deck. That is for sure. I've got oodles of cards to cut, and I still have to figure out exactly how I want to build this deck. Because I do have some choices. So I can go deep on combat tricks and maybe just play a pretty efficient beatdown deck with Earthen Arms. Try this card out. I know it got a low rating with LSV and Marshall, but I don't think it's as terrible as they probably think it is. Maybe bring in Tandem Tactics number 2. I'm trying to find some way to make this deck better. So many cuts to make. 19 creatures. Unfortunately, the Stalwarts are kind of important. Let's cut the Scout. I don't love that one. Let's cut a Tactics and an Earthen Arms. Let's cut the Natural Connection. I'd rather run Pilgrim's Eye. Let's cut Infuse, I think. It's not bad, though. Gives Trample, too. I think we'll still cut it. What, only 6 more cuts, huh? Jeez. And I'm basically running, what, like 1 Swamp just so I can make Stalwarts 3-mana 3/4s. And the only way to do that on turn 3 is if I find the Swamp with Evolving Wild, or I could probably get away with a couple Swamps. Oh yeah, I've only got a couple minutes. All right, well maybe we cut the Stalwart plan and the Pilgrim's Eye. And I don't run 3-color. And we focus more on like, I don't want to run a Swamp now, I guess? Or do I? I don't know. I'm having a hard time. We'll try them out. 3-mana 2/3s are still playable. We'll cut the Earthen Arms. We'll cut the Tactics. Jeez. This is a tough deck to make. We'll cut 1 Stalwart. We'll cut the Patrol. We'll cut... I don't know, man. I gotta make a decision, though. I think I'm actually gonna run 17 lands. 2, which might cause a problem. But no, I guess we have to run 18. Man, what do I cut? What do I cut? I have no idea. Unified front, you're gone. I'd rather play the stalwarts, I think. It's a sorcery anyway. Okay, so one more cut. I don't know. Still don't know. Got less than a minute, so I gotta decide. We'll cut the focus. I honest to God cannot come up with a cut here. I'm gonna cut one of my Courier Griffins actually, and we'll bring in this stuff. Wow, I could not for the life of me come up with a cut there. So we want 1 swamp. And this is 10 green, 7 green, 10 white. Is that reasonable? Yeah, we don't have that much green anyway. And 1 black. Could probably cut 1 more for 1 more swamp. But the extra swamp will just be the icing on the cake. All right, this was just a bizarre deck. Right in the nick of time we made it too. So, wow. Difficult deck to make.